Hi everybody, thank you so much for joining me. Happy New Year to you. I hope that you had good holidays and a great time celebrating Christmas and the New Year with your friends and family. And I hope that the start of 2015 has been a good one for you so far. Our topic of discussion this week is how to stay at peace. Now, if you've been paying attention to what's happening around the world, you realize that there's so much unrest everywhere, and many people are just starting to wonder if the world will ever be peaceful and who you can trust, and just the whole period is bringing a lot of feelings of just, unrest and wondering if we will ever experience peace. And it's not just about the things that are happening around the world. Many people in their personal lives as well, they feel that they don't have as much peace as they would like, stresses from jobs or just living in situations that they don't feel are good for them. And everyone is always wondering, how can I ever attain peace? And so I thought it would be a good start for us to talk about how to stay at peace, because I'm sure you've been thinking about, how to make this year better than last year, and some people like to sit down and write their resolutions. But I feel that one of the most things that everybody is looking for is joy and peace of mind especially. And so I thought if we talked about how to stay at peace, at least straight from the beginning of the year, maybe I can give you some tools that can help you throughout this year, and you can revert back to them time and again if you ever forget, on how you can stay at peace even if the world around you may be going crazy. And so let's get started. One thing that I feel is important for us to understand is that peace begins with you. We can't experience peace outside of ourselves. And if we really want the world to change, the world to be more peaceful, we ourselves have to be at peace. And when we are at peace, we also attract situations that are peaceful. And so, what can you do in your life to bring more peace to yourself? Instead of pointing the finger at somebody else and saying you should bring peace or that person should be more peaceful, what can you do to move towards more peace? And some things are really small and simple, like how you talk to yourself. Do you have positive talk or do you have negative talk? Are you stressed? And what are you doing about that stress? Do you feel like you're making the right choices for yourself? Or are you just following some path maybe that you're not even sure of, and that brings you unrest because it's not in alignment with who you are? And so if you want to experience more peace in your life, you have to see what kinds of decisions are you making. Are you doing something about the feelings that you have? Maybe you're not feeling in balance, or you're feeling that you have too much stress. Are you doing something about that? Because unless you change, nothing else is going to change. Another thing I've found is that in this universe, it seems as though there is organized chaos. Sometimes the universe looks as though it's very chaotic and things are happening there and over here and over there, and you're not sure how everything is going to fall into place. And then somehow, one day, things just feel like they're all right. And so even though there is the illusion of chaos, the universe is very organized. And one thing that's important to understand is divine order. Things are happening right now in exactly the way that they're supposed to happen. And sometimes negative situations actually bring out a positive outcome, or what we may term negative situation, because really at the end of the day, there's no good or bad, there's no right or wrong. It's just really a matter of it is what it is. And when you first think about that, you may think, oh, that's a little bit cold or a little bit cruel to just say things are just what they are. But the whole idea of what's happening with us in this universe is that we're just souls having a human experience. And many of the experiences that we're going through are experiences that we attract to ourselves to learn something or to grow into a particular experience, or to elevate our energetic vibration, whatever you want to call it. But the reason why we're having these experiences is because we want to learn and grow as a soul. And so we create many different kinds of scenarios, and there's always divine order that is leading everything, even though things may seem like they're chaotic. And once you start to understand that there's an order, a natural flow of things, then you become a little more relaxed, knowing that no matter what is going on, things are going to be all right. Most of the time, we are involved in an activity, or we are part of the drama, or we are part of something that's going on. But when you take a step back and you play this role of being a witness, almost like you're watching a movie in front of you, and you don't really have an opinion about it, it's just going by and you're just witnessing it. And sometimes in life you need to do this, because when you have that detachment, then you detach from all of the craziness that could be happening around you. And so instead of always being involved in some activity, being drawn to some drama, just try to step back and just play this role of a witness, where you're not judging at all, but you're just simply watching what's happening. Because this is exactly what our soul's position is. We are really the witness. We are bigger than what's happening. We're bigger than the mind. We're bigger than the craziness that's going on. And when you fall back into that position, you actually understand, oh, you know what, I'm so much bigger than that. I don't have to be drawn into these small, dramas that are happening. I can actually take a step back and just simply be a witness. And when you're a witness, you tend to see a lot more than when you're involved in the situation. Because when you're in the situation, you're like really so attached to one perspective, and you want to be right, and you feel like your idea is the best, or the way that you're doing things should be what people follow. But when you step back and you play the role of a witness, you're actually able to see where the people are coming from, or to step into their shoes, because you have a more holistic picture. You have kind of like a bird's eye view, where you see more than when you're involved in that activity. And so it's important sometimes, when something is going on in your life, to just take time to step away from it and just simply watch what's happening. Even if you're watching yourself, or watching your family or friends or whatever, just take some time to step back and simply watch what's happening. Because when you do that, you create more understanding, and then you can actually see where different people are coming from. And maybe, just maybe, you could actually have more patience for another person, or simply just understand where they are coming from. And even though maybe you can't help them, or you don't agree, but you can appreciate the fact that they're coming from a different perspective than you are. And what's a better way to create peace than creating mutual understanding? Peace doesn't mean that I have to agree with you. Peace just means that I allow you to be whoever you are. And even though your opinion is different to mine, I'm just going to give you the space to be yourself without me fighting you all the time. So peace is really just about bringing yourself into this space of allowing you and other people to be exactly who they are. Another tool that I use is to try as much as possible to dissociate from negativity. So I tend not to watch a lot of the news, because I find that each and every single time that I switch on the television to watch the news, it's usually negative. And it just makes me wonder, in this whole wide world where we have 7 billion people, you can't possibly tell me that this negative, news, or this negativity is the only thing that is taking place in this world. There's so much goodness that's happening around the world, but we don't get to hear about it, because it doesn't really give good ratings. but the more negative the situation, then the higher the ratings are, and so the media is going to go more for the negative news instead of something positive. And I know a lot of people who possibly come from like, you know, non-first world countries would understand this. You know, for example, I mean, I'm from Africa, and so even for us, when we watch the news, we always only hear about things happening, you know, like in Somalia, that there's children who are starving. And I'm not saying that this is not important, but I think to myself, this continent is so huge. There's so much going on, a lot of positive things, but you never get to hear about all the great things that happen in Africa, because they always talk about poverty and hunger. And it's like, come on, is that all we're about, you know? And so I just stopped to watch the news, because it usually brings a lot of negativity. And I find that even when I don't actively watch the news anyway, I still get to hear about things that happen, because, you know, people talk about it. And so maybe it could help you too, to just stop actively watching the news if you're somebody who's very sensitive, because some of us don't even know that we are very sensitive. And so when things are happening around the world, we pick up all these world energies, and they bring our vibration down. And sometimes we think it's about us, that something is wrong with us, but it's actually just that we are so sensitive that we're picking up all this negativity in the air, and then it brings us down. And so it's important to step away from situations that bring you down, just so that you can always keep your vibration at a good place. So I hope that these tools will help you to just start to be more at peace. And after this video, we are going to have a meditation that will just help us to get into this zone, or really to invite this energy space of peace. And it will be really nice if you can join us for the meditation. And I hope that it will help you to feel better about yourself, and to bring you to a place where you begin to experience peace in your life. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye. May you be at peace today, tomorrow, and always. Namaste.